Celtic. Beckie, great ball in. Ellen White for Manchester City.
Decent hit, wonderful goal. The first ever in a Manchester derby in FAWSL is an absolute blinder scored by Caroline Weir.
2 results to talk about this week for City, a bit late, sorry about that, but the first being our second leg against Barcelona at the Academy Stadium, a result which saw City bow out of the Champions League at the quarter-final stage of the competition, and last Sunday's trip to the Hive, home of Tottenham Hotspur in the WSL. Dave, Jayne, how are you both? Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, good, thank you, Emma. Nice to talk to you.
Hi, Emma. Nice to talk to you, Emma.
You too. It was always going to be a big ask to overturn our 3-0 deficit against Barcelona, but you cannot discredit the effort and the belief from the team who worked tirelessly to turn it around. And once the opening goal came through Jayne Beckie inside around 20 minutes of kickoff, you might have been left thinking, could we actually do this?
Well, we spoke, didn't we, the other week about how we were looking at this second leg after obviously losing the first leg 3-0. And I think we said that as long as we can treat it as a one-off game, the biggest thing we didn't want it to do was to go out of Europe badly, affect our league form. If we were to go out of Europe, we didn't want it to affect, the other things we're going for in the league and the cup. And I think so. A second leg performance was essential for that to not happen. I think, and we discussed this at length in the last podcast. And I think that's what we got. I think we got on the day a really good performance. Against a world-class side. I thought we played exceptionally well. I thought we deserved the win on the day. It was always a tall mountain to go through, starting 3-0 down. If we could have got that second goal before they equalised, it would have been very interesting to see our team of their quality, who's not used to being that. You've got to remember, they don't let many goals in. They certainly don't lose many games. If we could have gone 2-0 up against them, that would have been a very interesting, say, 20-minute spell towards the end to see how they would have handled that. But overall, the 90 minutes on the day, taking the second leg as a second, I think that, they could hold the head up high. And I think the team and the manager will be well happy with that. And it didn't, it doesn't have any knock-on effects other than the disappointment of actually going out, into the next games, which we'll talk about in a minute when we talk about the Spurs game. But I thought it was a great performance.
Jayne, how are you feeling when heading into the game? As prior to kickoff, we saw that obviously Lauren Hemp wasn't available, missing from the squad due to an ear infection. I think it's sent pretty much all of Twitter into meltdown ahead of the game. But that again just shows what an instrumental part of the side she actually is.
It does, it shows the role that she plays in the team all the time, that people are so terrified when she doesn't play. Everybody loves a Twitter meltdown pre-kickoff when the team comes out anyway. It's my favourite hour of the week, to be honest, before the game, just seeing everyone lose their heads on that. But yeah, like you say, it shows the instrumental role that she plays in the team. So, understandable that people were nervous, the fact that she wasn't in it.
But who steps into the squad other than Jayne Beckie? I think I'm going to speak about Jayne a little bit later in the podcast, but it was great to see her come into the squad and have such a great game as well.
It was great to see her come in and, she really stepped up. She came in, she played really well. She got the early goal. I think if you're looking for somebody to come in and show a performance to say, this is why I should be in your starting 11, then she did that on the day.
Absolutely. And Barcelona undoubtedly showing why they are a serious contender in this competition. And they've definitely got the potential to go all the way in this tournament. Spanish champions, done 11 matches without conceding before their visit to the Academy Stadium. With City, the first side to score more than one goal against them in a game in 38 matches. That just tells you everything really that you need to know.
That's a real feather in our cap. If there's such a thing as a glorious exit, we all wanted to go through, but, then that was it, because, we did play well second leg. It's a great feather in our cap to beat them. They did play well still on the day, Barcelona. Number of chances, the amount of times they split our defence with the pass from the little midfielder through to the girl up front, who eventually bagged one. But, they could well end up winning it, Barcelona. It wouldn't be a great surprise if they won it. So it's a feather in our cap. against a world-class side. So that's what, if you're going to go out, you want to go out on a high, and I think we did. It's just, we spoke at great length about the first leg. It was disappointing. If we could have just got that away goal in the first leg, it could have been a whole different story in that second leg. But that's gone now. We've got to focus on what's left and take the positives from it.
Of course, we can't deter away from the disappointment of bowing out of a major tournament. There's still so much to play for, and now it's the time for everything to come together in this important one of the upcoming games.
Yeah, that's it. It's an important time of the season now. Results really matter at this stage of the season. So the important thing is to not let that affect our confidence going into games, which with the performance that we gave, I don't think it will affect our confidence. So it's just to kind of push on and see what else we can do for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of people have been calling. Obviously, Lauren's been outstanding since she came back at Christmas, and you know what a big fan of Lauren I am. But a lot of people were calling for Jayne to be given a game. She's played well, never let the side down. She comes in and does what you said. Had a great game. Probably, I think she won man of the match. Actually, I think she won player of the match, and rightly so. Which she can then take on into the, as we'll talk about in the Tottenham game. It's great to have the options and to have everybody playing so well. Positive times in each game. I know it's the old cliche. We've been saying it for a few months now, one game at a time, but we're ticking them off in the league.
City equalled a Women's Super League record in a 3-0 win over Spurs on Sunday. Goals from Baller Beckie, Caroline Weir, Becky Spencer, who scored an own goal, but it ensured a vital 3 points in our season campaign to keep within touching distance of the table toppers Chelsea. We recorded a 12th successive league win at the Hive, an achievement matched only once before by Arsenal in 2018. And like I said, in terms of this season alone, the club is breaking their own personal bests.
Yeah, I mean, to go the WSL record for a start is a massive one to achieve. There are some great teams through the years in the WSL. So to say that we've gone on that unbeaten run really shows the consistency that we're playing with at the moment. And as you said, there were lots of other little records and things that went alongside that. Yeah,
it's fantastic. I mean, 12 straight wins is unbelievable. I mean, so that means we didn't achieve that even when we won the league in 2016. This is the best. So you can't ask for more than that for a form guide. It's a great response to, I even heard one commentator on another game on Sunday describe City's form as inconsistent. Well, I mean, 12 straight wins is certainly inconsistent, is it? I presume they were talking about earlier in the season, but we've only lost one game in the WSL. So that's why we're in the title race that we're in.
It was a relatively straightforward, routine win, if you like, against Tottenham. Tottenham really offering little in terms of attacking threat. Really struggled to impose themselves on the game, but they did work really hard to keep possession, Tottenham. I mean, how pleasing was the performance for you?
Yeah, it was a really pleasing performance. Like you say, it's a game that you go out and you're expected to win. And I think our performance on the day, we made sure that Tottenham didn't offer much, even though they had spells of possession and things like that. We made sure that they weren't able to attack in the way they'd like to attack. So I think we controlled the game from start to finish.
We spoke the other week about how well we thought, when we spoke with you, Emma, about how well we thought that Gareth was rotating the squad just in case, things cropped up. Last Sunday, things cropped up. You consider the players we were without. We then lost Alex Greenwood as well in the warm-up. And Aoife Mannion came in, and I thought she had an outstanding game. To consider she couldn't have known she was playing until literally the last minute before kickoff. To be thrown in, she hasn't played or started the game for so long. But Gareth's been managing that comeback and giving her a few minutes here and there and having her in training. She came in, it was like she'd never been away. And that just shows how important it is to have all these players ticking over and why the rotation system that he's been using since Christmas was so important. There it was in a nutshell for that game. So that was a really pleasing element from the Tottenham game as well for me.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the major talking points for sure. I think it was great to see Aoife come into the starting 11 for Alex. Gareth spoke about Aoife Mannion having little or lack of preparation, if you like, heading into this game. So the fact that she was able to come in, adapt, do the job, just shows really what an asset she could be for the City side going forward. But it'll also help with her confidence as well, getting those extra minutes in as well.
It can't be easy when you warm up thinking, right, I'm a sub today. So, it's the mindset as well, isn't it? You warm up thinking, right, I might be called on. I'll be ready to go when I am. Then all of a sudden, literally the last minute, probably 5 minutes before kickoff, they say, well, Alex has pulled up, you're starting. it's an instant switch of mindset, and sometimes that could catch players out maybe, but it didn't with either. You know, right from the very start, I thought she was competent. It was like she'd never been away, and that shows what a good player she is. Good experienced player that's you know we've missed in the squad when she's been injured, and it's great to have her back.
And she offered some really, really good balls as well. So much versatility that I guess really we've not necessarily had the opportunity of seeing. And it's almost, I really sort of long for Aoife to get those sort of minutes, because I really don't think we've seen the best of her yet.
No, that's it. You know, before she got injured, she was in the side and she was playing well and stuff, but it's been such a long time without her. So to see her coming back and to see her playing well and to see her doing well when she's on the pitch, it's really good. It's really good for the whole team. You know, to have somebody else of that quality in the squad is definitely a positive.
Yeah, she'd made the England squad and everything just before that injury. It was a terrible timing for her to get such a bad injury. But yeah, she's a very good player, Aoife Mannion, and a very experienced player.
I mean, obviously with a run of games and not being many games left to play, it's to be hopes that we do get to see a lot more of her. But the run of games that we've got, it might be quite difficult. Aoife, again, she's someone that I'd love to see commit to the club, because again, I just feel like she's got so much more to offer and we've not really seen the best of her yet, that I really hope that might happen.
I think Gareth may use the FA Cup tie with Aston Villa to play a few players who could do with starting a game, just to keep everybody fit, ticking over, play a competitive game against Aston Villa. And by, I don't mean like weakening the side as such. I'm talking about players like Laura Coombs and Aoife Mannion who, you know, have done fantastic jobs when they've come in this season. But you don't want to be calling on them cold if something happens to somebody else, you know, in those last couple of games when it's absolutely critical for the title. So I think Gareth maybe use the Villa game to give them some minutes. We'll wait and see. He might play some of the younger players again as well, some of the youngsters. The goalkeeper as well, Taib, might get a game. I'm sure it's all in his mind to try and balance it before we play that big game against Chelsea, when he'll want to put what he considers to be, I would imagine, his strongest 11 out.
Let's just get back to Tottenham. I mean, City were, you know, professional and able to get the job done. And especially heading into the game off of the back of the disappointment of going out of the Champions League earlier in the week. It was quite a routine performance, I'd say. You know, we weren't challenged too much from Tottenham, but we were able to just go out, get the job done, and there was no sort of aftermath from obviously that midweek. No,
there wasn't. They started fast. They started on the front foot, got the goal. Do we know, is that definitely an own goal now, that first one? Is it?
Yeah, it went down as an own goal, yeah.
You know, we didn't know if it had gone straight in. And just before that, I think it was Georgia had that fantastic shot that was tipped onto the bar.
Yeah.
So we really came out on the front foot, got the early goal. Fantastic second goal. What a ball from Sam Mewis. I think Abby Delkemper cleared it to Sam. And that ball, I mean, it was Kevin De Bruyne like that ball through to Jayne, and Jayne with a great finish. So from 2-0, then, you know, we were in control of the game. Tottenham didn't offer too much as an attacking threat. And I thought we managed the game pretty well. Saw it out in the second half with a third. Now another nice pass, third goal. Could have easily got more. So I think Gareth will have been well happy with that. And pretty much now, if we're honest, it is about the results from here on in now. It's about getting the points. You know, probably more so if you think about the Reading game the week before at home, where, you know, we got the late winner. It's all about getting those 3 points. And I think Gareth will be more than happy with the performance at Spurs.
Yeah, I mean, so let's talk about Jayne Beckie then, back in the squad, back amongst the goals. How great is it to see her contributing and showing what a real true asset she can be to this City side?
It really is. You know, Jayne is a great player. We all know what a great player Jayne is, and she's not really had much of a run in the side this season. So for her to come on and say, right, here you go, there's a goal. So then, all right, Gareth starts her again and she goes, right, here you go, there's another goal. She's kind of really playing her way into that first 11 as such. So it'd be good to see her do that. I think she's a player that the players all enjoy being around in the dressing room. She's one who seems to always have a smile on her face and things like that. So I'm sure she's a real credit to the whole team.
And internationally as well, she was contributing in the game against Wales with an assist.
Yeah, she did, didn't she? So it just shows, you know, on the international stage, she's doing it as well.
Yeah, she's been very consistent performing for Canada over the years, hasn't she? Ever since, you know, we've had her. I've always had a look at her whenever Canada have played, and she really slots in well with that team as well. She's a good player. There's no two ways about it. It's just been a bit unlucky this season, really, to not be playing more games, if the truth be known.
Yeah, because she was pretty much regular starter, last season before obviously the season got curtailed. I mean, it's probably quite surprising to see that obviously her involvement has sort of dropped off the pace a bit.
We saw her slot in other positions last year, didn't we? We saw her slot in as fullback for a while as well. But obviously, with the signings we've made and the re-emergence, of Esme Morgan coming back to the club and stuff, he's not had to do that as much this season as Nick had to last season. So that's also limited her appearances. And as I say, she's probably a little bit unlucky, but there's a few of those. I bring up Laura Coombs quite a lot because I think whenever she's played in games, she's been really, really good and played really well. And probably another one who's a little bit unlucky to not get more game time because of how well everyone else has been playing. But it's a nice problem to have because it means everybody's playing well.
Yeah.
So I suppose as a manager, that's what you want.
Let's talk about the foreseeable then. As expected, City's potential FA Women's Super League title decider against Chelsea at the Academy Stadium has been rearranged for Wednesday, the 21st of April, with a 6 p.m. kickoff. We will be heading into this game off of the back of our fourth round tie against Aston Villa in the FA Cup, which takes place at 1 p.m. on Saturday, the 17th of April, upon the players returning to their clubs respectively following the international break. The games do get, tough, I suppose, in terms of the title race. Obviously, great to be back involved with the FA Cup. We spoke about that already in the earlier podcast, but it does really feel now that the big title clashes are coming.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a big game, isn't it? That game versus Chelsea is every game up until now. We've been saying, we can't focus on the Chelsea game yet. We've got to focus on the games in front of us. And I know we've got the FA Cup game first, but if you're talking about our next league fixture, there it is. It's us v Chelsea. I'm sure everyone will be saying the winner of that goes on to win the league. So the size of that game, you can't put a price on, really. It's a really big, important game, and hopefully, I'm sure the team will be all really focused for it and really up for that one.
Everybody to come back from internationals fully fit. That's the first thing. Then let him, like I say, you might use the whole squad rotation for the Villa game with the Chelsea game in mind. We knew the Chelsea game was going to get moved. It was a question of whether it got moved to the Wednesday they have moved it to, which is before their first leg of their semi-final in Europe, I believe. Or were they going to put it in the middle the following Wednesday, which will put it in the middle? Now, judging from some of the Chelsea fans' reactions online, some of them are not happy with where they put it. If I was a Chelsea fan, I'd rather have it where it is than in the middle of the two ties. The following Wednesday, say for argument's sake, they've got the two semi-finals. They've got, from City's point of view, it doesn't really make much difference, does it? We haven't got the Europe to worry about now. We've just got to focus on that game. It's not a title decider. I suppose we've got to say that, because just winning this game doesn't give you the league. There's still 2 games left for both teams to play after that. But it's certainly, whoever wins it is majorly in the driving seat, I would say. We have to win it. We have to, and I'm sure that's what Gareth will be drilling into the players. We're at home. It's our chance to go above them by beating them. We can't rely on anyone else. It's all down to us. And we have to win that game. And I'm sure that's the way we'll look at it.
But like you said before we get there, we've got Aston Villa in the FA Cup, a trophy that City will be, looking to retain. Having faced Villa already, should it be a relatively straightforward task?
It's a game that we'll be expecting to win. As Dave said, we might see a few changes maybe in the starting 11. I wouldn't like to see too many changes, if I'm being honest. It's not as if we're playing a team from a lower league or something like that where you think, do you know what, we can make a whole host of changes. I think, we're still playing a team in the top division, so it's important that we put a team out that's strong enough to be able to win that game on the day. So I think we'll see a few changes maybe, but not many. But the FA Cup's, a competition that everybody loves, so I'm sure the team will want to go out and win that one.
Villa have got their own issues in the league as well. I think they're fighting relegation. So it won't be their priority. You might. I'm not sure how deep in depth their squad is. You might see them make a few changes as well. It depends. They might think, right, we're not prioritising the cup tie because we want to stay in the WSL at all costs, and they're deep within that relegation fight. But I think they've got a couple of games in hand. So it's an interesting one. That I think we'll see some changes, but maybe, as Jayne says, not too many. But yeah, it's important, because we all know, you never know if we can get to the cup final. It's being played next season, isn't it? It's been held over again. Might even be one that us as fans are allowed to go to this time. So we obviously want to get through because we want to be able to. Who doesn't love a trip to Wembley?
Yeah, we should be allowed an extra hour in there as well if we were to get there, because we missed out this season. So the last time we were beaten inside 90 minutes at the Academy Stadium was on the 26th of September 2018 against Atletico Madrid. We don't count extra time, Chelsea. And no. So in terms of obviously our home record, so many positives that we need to carry into these, next couple of games at least, and especially Chelsea. How important, obviously, is it to ensure that, we keep that momentum?
Yeah, of course it is. We need the momentum. Like you say, we love playing at the Academy Stadium. We've got a great record at the Academy Stadium, so that's probably something that the players will pull on to give themselves confidence going into the game. That's probably something the backroom staff will be kind of, talking about and making sure that they've got everything they need going into that game. Our record there is so good that it's something that we can use in our favour.
Chelsea have got quite a poor record at the Academy Stadium. That the win you talk about earlier this season in the Continental Cup, which, as you quite rightly say, was in extra time, is the first time they've ever won there. So, we're at home. I always fancy us at home to play well. If you think about that Continental Cup game, we had a lot of players out. I think that was when we had our COVID issues and people were having to sit out and miss games. And we were literally, seconds away from beating them with a great display that night. And they equalised with that worldie in the last minute. And then they just had a little bit too much strength for our younger side in extra time. So I think we can still draw a lot from that game, how well we played that night. So Gareth will bring that home to them, even though we went out that night. It was a good performance. So I always fancy us at home. If we can play our game, everyone will have to be on top form because Chelsea are a great side. So every one of our players is going to have to play 100% top form. But if that happens, and I'm sure it will, then we can beat them. Yeah, definitely.
So the vote is now open for the OSC Player of the Season. Tell us a little bit more about that and how fans can get involved to cast their vote.
So you'll have had an email now about the voting being open. So basically, if you are a member of MCWFC OSC, you get one vote on your Player of the Season. You can vote for any member of the first team squad. There's no shortlist, so you can choose whichever player you think deserves to win the award this season. Last year's vote was extremely close, so every vote counts. So, I'd say get your votes in.
Yeah, it's going to be hard this year. It's going to be hard to choose. I've not even decided myself yet. So it's going to be a hard one for people. So maybe have a sit down and think and try, judge it over the season who you think, is your rightful winner. And like Jayne says, there's no shortlist. We like everyone to be able to choose their own. So you can vote for any player you want. And Jayne will calculate all the top secret. She never even tell anyone, not even me. It's top secret. She'll count all the votes as they come in. You can vote by replying to the email. You can DM us on Twitter. There's whatever's easiest for you. Let us know your vote. Keep it private and you're not influencing anyone else. And then we'll count the votes, and we'll have a winner, and hopefully be able to present the trophy with them, and a silver salver as we always do. We've not been able to present Lauren with hers from last season yet. We've got it, and that will be arranged. So as you know, we have a nice trophy. The name goes on it, and a silver salver for the player to keep each year. This will be the 6th year, will it? 6th?
I think so.
I think it's the 6th one. It's 2015 anyway. We started it. There's been some good names on it in the past. Izzy Christiansen, Lucy Bronze. Last year's winner was Lauren Hemp. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. And how long's the voting open for?
The voting is going to be open kind of till the end of April. So just a few weeks on there for the voting, so that then we've got time at the end of the season to get everything sorted out.
So everyone's got plenty of time to think about it.
Yeah, we've got a bit of time to have a little think, make the decision on who their vote's going towards.
Have at least 2 weeks, I would have thought. That'll take us towards the end of April, and then everyone can make the decision then. Be interesting to see who wins it this year.
It will. There are so many strong contenders this season.
There are, aren't there? Yeah, which is a good thing.
Definitely. Right, guys, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and you, Emma. Yeah, thanks for having us on. We look forward to these games, and it's going to be a very interesting period of time. Can't wait for it.
I'll enjoy the rest of the international break.
Yeah,
We
no
all love
injuries,
an international break. And take care, and I'll see you soon.
See you, Emma.
Take care, Emma. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.